listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Good Monday morning. We are live.
Different mic.
Yeah, you're a little low.
I am?
Yeah.
What's on the board?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
We don't know what number this is.
Yeah. Is it there? Is it here?
No, it's on the board.
I don't see. I can't raise you up anymore.
All right, that's okay. I just have to.
Yeah, you are like super
Whoever
low.
gets this mic after me.
Hope your breath smells good.
I'm just saying.
We have hand sanitizer for that.
Oregano oil.
Yes, we have hand sanitizer. Well, welcome everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Welcome to Table for Five. We do have a full table for five. So you, the listening audience today, are going to be number 6.
Yes.
So sorry about that, but that's okay.
Get the leftovers.
Yes. Get in where you fit in. Jump in. We're all a little under the weather today. We all got some issues going on.
Yes.
Last week it was Annette. She passed it around. No, I'm just kidding.
It's her fault. Thank you. Thank
No, I
you.
did not.
No, she did not pass it around. I got it actually from my kids. I'm going to throw my kids under the bus. Thanks, Dominic and Zachary. Getting mommy sick. Don't appreciate that. But anyways, yes. So everyone made it here safely, soundly, somewhat healthy.
Yeah.
Got a full table
Listen,
today.
I just want to say, well, let's just do our introduction.
Oh. Yes, we're good. We're a little bit all over the place today, so you're gonna have to.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
I can actually say that. It's
It's
Monday.
It is a real Monday around here. Table for Five, LA Talk
real.
Radio. We are got crazy stuff going on, but everyone, welcome. You can catch us here live every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You know, like my Pacific time.
That's right.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And we've got a great show for you guys today. So if you have some questions, some call-ins, some comments, we can't hear her mic. I can't hear her.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah,
give us a
we're having
call.
slight technical-
We will be able to hear you if you call in, I hope. The number to call in is 818-570-5085.
Okay. But we do have a sponsor. We have 2 sponsors.
Oh, yes, we
today.
do. We have 2 sponsors
So we want to
today.
start off with our first sponsor. Today's show has been brought to you by My Financial Home Enterprises, a global financial consulting firm providing comprehensive accounting, tax, and financial management services. Dr. Cosette M. Whitecoin, the financial physician, diagnosee, and provides a cure to eliminate money, leaks, and income barriers to grow your business bottom line. To find out more about Dr. Cosette, you can go to www.myfinancialhome.com. www.myfinancialhome.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I just, you got to keep it up.
Keep it up.
Yeah, it's gone. There we are.
Oh.
Oh, I lost it.
Okay. Is
It's
that better?
not there. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Oh, well, no, you're there.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Am I here? Okay.
I can hear you. You can't hear yourself? Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Woo-hoo!
Sorry.
We are live.
Welcome back.
Casey, we miss you. I see you are on our
Is
Facebook.
he watching today?
Yes, Casey's watching. Looking
We
great,
miss you.
lady. Sorry, I'm not there. Yeah, we miss you, Casey. All these people here, Casey, had to go and find
Casey,
parking
get well.
elsewhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jay walking
But
across
hurry
the
up and
street.
feel better.
You saw that?
Oh my God, jaywalking, Casey. We're gonna send you the ticket. Sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better, Casey.
Yes, we're all
Thanks for
sick.
watching.
Yes, thank you. Yes, good morning to you and everyone else out there. So what are we talking about today? Today is this month is
Cerebral.
Is it cerebral or cerebral?
People say it differently.
Right,
Cerebral
tomato,
palsy
tomato.
awareness, cerebral palsy awareness.
Cerebral.
Cerebral
Cerebral.
palsy.
Yeah, because you got to think brain, because it's the cerebral cortex is usually what's affected. So.
Exact. Okay, so we're gonna say Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, the month of March, the whole month of March, and we're here with our special guest,
Yes, we
returning
are.
guest,
Yay.
friend of the table.
Yes, she
Miss.
is.
Leave it alone.
Oh, that's scared me.
I
That's
know.
like so loud. I'm so sorry. It's really hard to control all these mics, but founder and CEO of Inclusion Clubhouse
Yes.
and Janai's Angels, with special guest restaurant owner Lonnie Govan. Give you a
You get some more applause.
There we go.
yes, of the Rio Lounge and Grill, and along with his sister, the lovely, beautiful Gloria Govan. Good morning. We're trying to have fun today.
I know. But before we have some fun, we have to tell everybody how to contact, reach us, where to find us.
Yes,
Can we
go
just
ahead.
skip all around our script? Yeah, let's just go back up.
We have a script,
We have a script every morning. Before we get started, we want to let everybody know how you can connect with us on social media. We have our Instagram at Table for Five, Facebook, Table for Five at Felicia and Annette. Our Twitter is also at Table for Five, and our website, which is a one-stop shop, www.table-for-5.com, where you can find out all the information about our prior shows and our present guests, and you can get also connected to the links that we're going to be talking about today in our show.
Yep.
And if you want to advertise with us, you could also go on our website, hit the little advertise link, click, and someone very professional will contact you. Not me or Felicia, but someone very professional.
Not us.
So feel free to hit us up. And also, wait, we never talk about our YouTube. We are on YouTube at Table for Five TV. So if you want to see how we got started, like back a couple of years ago, you go to our YouTube channel and you can catch up with all our shows and the shows from like back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And you'll get a little history.
She had short hair.
Yeah.
And then her hair grew out. And then she'd cut it off again.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, anyways.
Menopausal.
Oh, wow.
It is the truth.
Okay.
I might let it grow out after I turn 55. You never know. I need to get through those 3 years.
It looks great.
Thank you. I
And you look
appreciate it.
amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit of hot topics.
Yes. And our guests, feel free to jump on in.
Yes, chime in, give
Chime
your
in.
opinions or whatever you feel like saying.
Okay.
So go ahead. You want
The
to start?
obvious is the Oscars.
Oscars. It's big in your household.
It's big in my household, but I almost slept through them because I was so sick. So I woke up, I had breakfast, then I went to bed, and my husband came and checked in on me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, fine." Then my son comes in, and he goes, "Mom." Now I know my husband sent him, because my husband's into wardrobe. He said, "They're showing the dresses. Are you coming down?" And I was like, and I went back to sleep. So I missed the whole pre-Oscar red carpet thing, which is it's never like me. I mean, I'm up in there. But I did get up in time for the Oscars, and I tweeted during the Oscars. And I saw dresses that were on the Oscars stage.
Oh, right, presenters.
Yeah, the presenters, I thought blue was the color. Obviously, blue was the big color from the red carpet. Everybody looked beautiful. I mean, I can't say, I thought everybody looked beautiful. The show was a little slow. The big highlights were when they went over to the TLC Chinese.
Oh, the Chinese theater surprised everybody. Yeah.
And Tiffany Haddish wore her Alexander McQueen $4,000 dress that I almost wore my Uggs today just to give her a shout out. And I can't remember the name of the other actress.
She was on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Her name escapes me too, but I love her.
I thought their levity.
Oh, she was the one in Bridesmaids.
Yes.
What is her name? Yeah. Okay.
If somebody knows, can you please write it up?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Post it on Facebook.
Yeah, they will.
So we can know.
Anyway, so I thought that brought levity to the whole show. I mean, I thought the show was a little boring.
Yeah, it was. I didn't feel like there was a lot of like standout moments.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I thought Jimmy Kimmel did a great job. I loved his monologue. I liked him in the beginning, but I thought it was a little slow. What did you guys think?
Did you guys watch it?
Did you guys?
I didn't get to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. No, you get a pass. You get a pass.
Yeah.
You were working. It's okay.
I saw it. I got to see the dresses before. I kind of tuned out of the Oscars because I felt the same way. I was like, okay, y'all.
Slow, right?
I was like, woo, all right. So they lost me a little bit, but I saw a few presenters. I saw Tiffany Haddish, and her name is escaping me, but yes, the woman from the main chick from Bridesmaids, who wore red, and it was beautiful. And I love that Tiffany wore a $4,000 dress again, because she said that. She was like, I'm going to spend $4,000, but I'm going to wear this like 8 times.
And she's not afraid. She was not afraid to be photographed in it on TV.
Yes.
Right.
She's like, you will keep seeing. And I agree with you. I shout out to her because I am with you right there. You spend that kind of money.
Okay, but I do want to say Viola Davis. Oh my God, she had this hot pink dress
with that
with the against her skin color. It was everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
She does really well. Like she
color.
does pops of color. She does yellow and that. I thought Zendaya stole it. Though.
Maya Rudolph. Thank you.
Yes.
Maya Rudolph.
Thank you so much.
There you go, Facebookers. Yeah, I thought Zendaya stole the show. Though.
Oh my God, her dress was everything.
But she's just fabulous.
But her dress was she can wear just about anything.
Yeah, paper bag. Put a paper bag on it. She looks
but the gown just had life. It was. Yeah, that was
the way she presents herself and like carries herself too when she poses. Like she's such a great inspiring young lady.
Yes,
yeah,
beautiful.
she's
Love
awesome.
her.
I thought she was great. I wasn't a fan of Selma Hayek's dress though.
No.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of hers. I wasn't a fan of the lady that presented with her, Annabella. I forget her last name.
Oh yeah.
They were doing the whole Me Too thing.
What did you think about that? Like, I feel like there wasn't enough. Well, I feel like there were kind of pauses with it, but I don't think that we talked about it enough. That there wasn't like so much of an awareness. I wish there would have been a little bit more. I loved. Is it Frances McDermott? What is her name?
Frances McDermott.
Yes, I loved her speech. I mean, she made me cry.
Yeah.
She was like emotional. She was like with it. She was on there. She was like, I am a feminist, and shout out to her boys in the audience.
Yeah.
I was done. I was crying. I was like, oh my God. She's like, you have been raised by a feminist mother. I was like, oh my God.
Jesus.
She's
I thought that was great. I thought the irony. Well, I talked about this in a couple of shows back. I felt like they dropped the ball in the SAG awards with the Me Too movement.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Really, Felicia?
Sorry,
we are on love it. That was her phone.
I told you it's a hot mess.
I was looking for the classic.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, me too.
What's really going on?
They got a budget. They got commercial breaks. No, we read our commercials. We're real low budget. But I just felt like at the SAG Awards, I felt they dropped the whole Me Too movement, and I think they kept it very subtle in the Oscars, and they kept everything subtle. The politics were subtle. Yeah. Everything was very subtle. Yeah. I kind of appreciated Get Out winning.
Yes, for the original screenplay.
That made me jump out of the. I literally leapt off the couch. I was so excited when Jordan Peele won.
Absolutely, when
that was huge.
Yes, I mean he's the first African American to win an Oscar for an original screenplay.
Yeah. So that was a big upset. The other upset was Guillermo de la Torre winning Best Film and Direction.
Yo, our Mexican side was like, hey.
Yes, Robert and I are sitting there, right, because we were at the Costume Design Gala Awards a couple of weeks ago, and he was honored there. And he spoke so eloquently, and I said, what a nice man. I mean, he just spoke so well. And I remember sitting there, and I told Robert, I said, I really hope he wins, just to,
Yeah, so see him, support, right.
Yeah.
When that man won,
you like to stick it to him. That's what you wanted to say.
Just win. I jumped off the couch again. I mean, those are the 3 occasions because he won Best Director. I was so excited. And the other upset I thought was Coco winning Best Song.
Animated? Oh.
The song, I thought The Greatest Showman would have won. This is me, the whole.
The whole thing.
I thought, I thought she would have won because that song was so favored and so liked. So I thought that was a little bit of an upset.
I loved his speech too. I love the fact that he's talked about him being an immigrant and the dreamers and how important it is. And I felt like that was a bigger theme of the night than anything else.
For sure.
Yes, and letting you know that like it's possible and that we're not going to accomplish anything by building walls and closing borders and stuff like that. Like, you need to be inclusive and have everyone come in because you never know where people are coming from, what they can bring.
Inspiration for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciated what Frances said at the end about inclusion writer, for everybody to request that when they do a project. But I know that yesterday they were talking about inclusion. This is my soapbox for 2 seconds. I always get a little soapbox.
Go ahead.
I felt that I'm Puerto Rican, and she's half black, mulatto. That's what
people don't like
I don't care
that term. But I don't care either.
But I always feel, and I said this in the car, and I'm gonna say it, and whoever wants to come for me, you can come for me. I don't care. This is what I believe. I was very frustrated with Hispanics and Latinos on the Oscars yesterday, even though they won in different areas, because African Americans have a louder voice and they unify a lot better than Latinos do. And Latinos don't unify as best as they should. And that comes from, my opinion only, I know we have Hispanics at the table, you're welcome to chime in, because we come from so many different places. African Americans are residents, they're citizens, they're Americans of the United States, right? Yeah, let's not even go there. Where do they come from, Felicia?
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't know that I agree with the whole like we're so more unified. Or
Their voices are louder. Their voices are louder. Their voices are louder
for as
than
many
Hispanics.
as there are.
Listen, there was we can count how many Hispanics were on that stage versus how many African Americans were on that stage. We can, when they did that inclusion piece, the only Latina that was represented in that inclusion piece was Salma Hayek. My husband and I were like, really? That's the only person that you could come up with?
So you feel like because that community was louder that they got more representation. You feel like the Latin community should have been louder.
Yes.
To get more representation.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
That. I agree with that. I think that because I feel like there's such a presence of all Latin heritages in America, you know, and we're Black and Mexican, so and my mom like legit like crossed the border, you know, so she so we have that, you know, we have that in us, and ultimately I feel like if we are a lot more in terms of population, in terms of the Latino community, but I just don't think that we use our voice in the way that African Americans have lately, because it wasn't until lately that African Americans really started speaking up and uniting, you know, and unifying. But I think with this Dreamers movement, I think that we'll probably start seeing a shift in that as well.
I really would hope so. I was so annoyed. You have no idea. I was talking to the TV. I was like, this is so ridiculous.
You were screaming at the
But
TV?
you know what, too? Sorry, and I hate to interrupt.
Go
but
ahead.
I do feel like we have, like, we being like Latinos have a lot more like platforms. You know what I mean? Like we have our own awards. You know, and not to say that African Americans don't, because we just have the Black Image Awards and all that kind of stuff.
Don't they have the Essence Awards, the NAACP Awards? We only have what awards do we have?
I feel
the Latin Grammys.
Yeah.
The Latin Grammys. We had to get our
I was
own.
like, dang, I feel like I had a lot more to say to that, but I didn't.
We had to like remove
more, though.
ourselves.
There's one more.
We used to have the Alma Awards,
Alma Awards,
and
okay,
Eva Longoria had produced those up until like 2 years ago.
Oh,
and
right. Those are no more.
No more.
Yeah, she got a man. She was like, whoo,
Yeah,
I'm tired,
I
girl.
don't have to, yes, I don't have to spend all this money producing this show.
Cool.
You know, that's a lot of work, and you can't put that on one person. You got to put it on a community. You got to put it. You know, she has a voice and a platform, and that's great.
Yeah.
But other people have to rally around her. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel.
I think that's what comes stems to a point. Is someone needs to step up and be a leader in the community and say, hey, let's identify ourselves and make us a difference.
Yes.
Who's that person going to be?
Exactly. I mean, listen.
And in the African American community, someone has stepped up multiple times as far as the music industry, and they're attacking some of your kids' ears.
You're right.
So they get to more people.
Yes.
Because the music nowadays, is a major impact on most kids.
Yeah.
What kid doesn't know a rap but can't predict what the first president is?
Right.
It's all about repetition and rhymes for these kids.
You're
so
right.
nowadays, more African American, which are doing the music and the movie industries, are making a bigger impact on kids' minds and ears.
Yes.
And the Latin community has
That's a
to
great point.
just step up in a point where they need to make up who's going to lead us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I think in the demographic of the Latin community, which is going on, which everybody knows for the most part, El Chapo.
Yeah.
That's not a good history to
That
have.
is not
So
a
you're
good leader.
you're leaving a drug history for a child.
Right, or what's in the media right now, Puerto Rico.
Right.
You know,
Stuff like that,
Right.
catastrophes. There's nothing, nothing uplifting. So someone needs to step up and say, we are very uplifting. Look at the movie Life Without Mexicans.
Oh wow.
It's a
I've been dying to
major
see that,
impact
I
movie.
haven't seen that.
You take away all
It's
the way.
intense.
You take away all the Latin culture.
You ain't gonna eat.
The cleaning,
Legit.
everything stops in this world.
Everything.
Yeah.
But if someone really impacts and stamps marks that, then you can make a major impact and say, we're here too.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to be identified as who's going to step up.
Listen, I've been shouting all week. I've been writing emails to the people I know. I've been complaining since Friday. And you know why? I'm going to say this without saying any names. I was at a place, and there was someone
long
there.
hair, black dress.
Right.
You know who you are.
Right. You know who he is.
And I was at this place, and there was a lady there, and she had just come from an award show, and she was saying how proud she is that the African American community rallies together during award season, and they come together and they celebrate each other's talents, gifts, and people show up, even if it's just a party, just to say, great job doing camera, great job doing fashion, costume design, great job, you know. That's all it is. Just come together and say, because if you don't feel that it's represented in the SAG or Oscars or the Golden Globe, then we're going to just say, you did a great job. And I'm listening to her, and I'm like getting mad. And I'm like, she's absolutely right. Because nobody does that. If they do it, I don't know about it, and that's unlikely because I know about everything. So,
she knows about everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just a little surprised. So I started texting people and emailing, and they were like, "You're right. Nothing has happened."
Yeah.
There are things, there are little things throughout the year, but during awards season, there's not a collective. You know what? You're Latino. You have this. You have that. You've done this. Let's come together and celebrate. Let's throw a big damn party.
Yeah. For real.
Well,
That's
and
my
I'm
speech.
going to throw this out there. Do you think, and do you wonder, I'm sitting here listening and wondering, do you think it's because maybe the Latin community tries more to assimilate? Because
Sure,
I kind of have had conversations with people in the past of Latin descent, and they kind of feel like a lot of people don't necessarily speak their own language. A lot of people don't speak Spanish in the household.
Yeah, we were one of them.
Because you kind of want to, maybe distance yourself from that. So it's more of an assimilation. Do you think that has gone on too long to kind of
assimilate to what?
To being
like
regular
just
American.
regular American.
We're not
no
gonna
accent.
we're not gonna rock the boat. We're just gonna go along with the flow, and we don't need to make ourselves different.
Right, especially known because a lot of them are. I mean, obviously, you look at Dreamers and you see 700,000, undocumented, immigrants. So okay, fine, but I think a lot of times you come here. And they do kind of not go like underground, but they just kind of skate.
Yeah, you don't want to draw attention to yourself.
And like our mom, she taught us Spanish, but we went to a bilingual school at first. But when we, then she relied on us to teach her English. So then we actually stopped speaking Spanish for a long time, and then for a long time our grandparents and stuff, they didn't want us to speak Spanish because it wasn't like, it wasn't a thing. But you didn't want to go to school with an accent, like that kind of stuff. So that's, that may have something to do with it as well. But, the richest man in the world is a Mexican.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has to do with people.
That's a small part of it. I think you have to maybe understand where it's coming from, and then so that you can change it.
Right. So that the wave can turn, because a lot of times too, like our wave being African American too, that just kind of like is just now starting too.
Right.
You know what I mean? People recognizing the influence in hip hop, the influence in music.
Right.
The obviously you have Black Panther.
I think,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it has more.
Yeah.
I think it's a little deeper and darker. I think it has to do with the people's citizenship. I think a lot of that has to do where you came from, because if you get together with Hispanics that work in this industry. Guillermo del Toro is not an American. He is a Mexican that happens to work here.
Right.
But we could still celebrate him. So I don't think it has anything to do with assimilating.
Yeah,
it's being able to embrace everybody from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And I think that we struggle with that. If we're citizens, American citizens, sometimes we can't identify with the Latinos.
Right.
We can't. We're not trying to assimilate with the American Hispanics are not trying to assimilate with Americans because we're Americans. I think we're trying to embrace the people who are not from here and understand who they are. That's where I think it's more than that. I think it's deeper and darker, and we need to talk about it.
I think, we need to talk about it. We need to figure it out. And we
All
should
right,
have a
okay,
whole
so
other
that's
show.
what- I know,
since we have done
sorry.
half of the show about it.
So sorry. I was just saying. That's all.
Yes, it goes like that here. Like sometimes we start out with one intention and then we just solve another
Right,
problem.
keep going. I know.
Legit.
We're here to solve the world's problems. That is really our mission.
No. We said last week we're here to start a conversation.
Yes.
We're conversation starters. That's our goal.
I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Like
that
a
way
match.
you go home and you think about it and you be like,
And go home and start arguing about it. I don't
No,
know.
we
write
don't
some
wanna
more
argue.
emails.
For emails,
Long as the makeup is worth then argue
Text
about it.
people.
Be passionate about it.
there
It's
you go.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But the reason why we're here,
yes,
we're going to bring
turning the page to happier things.
Yes, Linda into the conversation a little bit and talk about why we have our lovely guests here. So again, we're going to talk about Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and this is something that's very close to your heart.
Yes.
Would you like to explain to everyone what is it? A disease? Is it a condition?
It's
A disorder? How are we?
You know what? That's a good question, because honestly, like, different people call it different things. To me, it's a disability. However, my daughter, who is going to be 20 this month, believe it or not.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Jeanette.
which is another reason why we're celebrating. But she has cerebral palsy, and it's a brain disorder. So I didn't find out until she was like maybe 8 months old. Well, I noticed that there were things that weren't happening. So the developmental disability part of it,
Right.
were just delayed. She was delayed on everything.
Right.
And then it wasn't until she was like 4 years old where they sent her to Children's Hospital to have like a CAT scan done to try to figure out like what the hell, like why is she so delayed on everything?
Right.
And that's where they found like the part that connects the two hemispheres that looks like spaghetti. Like I call it spaghetti.
That's okay.
There were pieces missing. So also like pieces of her brain were missing. So the connection to get from one side of the brain to the other side for the physical part is not there. So that's why she's in a wheelchair. She doesn't walk. Also communication, she doesn't talk. She doesn't have like any verbal cues, so to speak. And so for some, it's like they're like, it's a disease because, I don't know, like it happens in utero or
it's genetic.
It's
They're born.
It's not. It's not genetic. And that's the thing that that people think, and that's another myth that we try to debunk is like, it's not contagious. It's not. It's not something you can catch. Because I used to get that a lot. I'd be pushing her in the wheelchair, and people would like pull their kids away. And it's like, okay, all right.
Like you're not going to catch something
You're not
to
going
be
to
in a
catch
wheelchair.
it just from being in the same room, contact. None of that stuff. It's something that only happens it happens in utero during development. Like for her, there's no explanation. Just they're like, you could have gotten a 24-hour bug during this stage of your pregnancy, and that's what made the brain not develop. And or it happens during delivery when they're trying to get the baby out and they have to use forceps, or they're really having a hard time getting the baby out, and the baby loses oxygen for some reason, for a short period of time, and that causes brain disorder. Like it causes the brain to like stop, and then or it causes the child to have a stroke, but you don't know that they're having a stroke, and the baby has a stroke, and then that causes.
I know someone who that happened to. The baby had a stroke in utero. Yeah.
I know that too. So, I mean, for me, I say it's a disability. It's something that we work on. There's you can take them to therapy to help them get better, but there is no cure. That's the one thing that's really difficult about cerebral palsy is there is no cure. I mean, I've had doctors tell me that one day she might just wake up and boom, like miraculously.
So meaning that the brain would heal.
Yeah, that the brain could possibly heal itself. I mean, her pediatrician, when we initially got the diagnosis, was like, I had a patient who was like 20-something years old and got into a car accident. And during the MRI that they did during the accident, they found that part of his brain was missing. But he lived his whole life completely normal with no problems. And nobody knew he had a brain disorder until he got into that car accident. And they were like, holy crap. So the doctor's like, so technically she could live just fine and be just fine. So one day the light might switch.
So is there active research? Like, are they trying to find a cure? Are they trying to do research? Like, where are they at with it?
Different organizations do different things. And I feel like there are some out there who say, they're researching and they're trying to find a cure. But from all the research that I've done before starting our organization, pretty much everything debunks. They're like, there is no cure. They've even tried talking about stem cells. And, when I was having babies, I was like, oh, maybe I should save all these blood cords and, and then have surgery and then she'll be better. And, they are still finding there's very little proof that works. So, it's more about learning to live with it and how to make life, allow them to live their lives as best possible. And, the goal is always independence. There are, I mean, when I first had her, and the crazy thing is I started working for United Cerebral Palsy before I even knew that she had that diagnosis.
Oh my goodness.
And I took care of, at that time I was 23 and she was 23, and I took care of a 23-year-old who had cerebral palsy. And so it was my job to take her bowling, take her to bingo, as well as shower, because she could only do so much for herself in the shower. So I would have to like wash her hair or scrub her back because she couldn't do that. Or I would have to like reach into the cabinets and get out food for her and prepare her food for dinner. So there's different ranges.
So, I was going to say, so there's different levels, different ranges of varying degrees of the disease.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you know how many babies are born with the disease?
Well, it's the facts that I have is like 1 in every 500. So right now I believe 17 million worldwide live with cerebral palsy. And so it's basically like a baby every hour is born with CP. So
And what's interesting though is that that's a high number, and we think it's a high number. But in researchers' numbers, I think we've kind of found this out almost last year too, that that's not a big enough number for them to be like, let's really invest a lot of money into figuring this out.
So
and you know, we can put people on Mars. Well, not people. We can put things in outer space. Go to Mars.
Put people on Mars.
Well, they probably will put people on Mars.
They can clone them.
Put
They're
people on the
cloning
moon.
dogs. Did you hear about Barbara Streisand? Okay,
no,
I will
that's-
not digress.
Cloning dogs, but we can't find and figure out a way how to heal the brain and other diseases like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, brain disorders. I feel like they get put on the back burner a lot. And if there's not like
like you're saying, I just think we just need to eliminate half of this population because we're overpopulated already.
Right.
And I think there's just like
that's
that's not we're not ready to heal
like
all that.
it's
It's like the
important.
flu.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
feel like they have the medication for everything that we literally deal with. It came from somewhere.
Right.
So they have to have a cure.
Yeah, there's always, listen, my son's pre-med, and I'm like, oh, medicine is not fun.
Yeah.
It's not user-friendly. It's not patient.
It's not.
That's a whole other subject.
But that's why you started
Yes.
your organization to bring awareness, and then also because you found the need to, you know, you have an individual. Okay, you have this. How are you going to maintain? How are you going to live your life? How are you going to get through? And that's what brought you to your organization. You want to tell us a little bit about Inclusion Clubhouse?
Absolutely. So, I, as a mom of 4, I have
Amazing, incredible,
right? So-
crazy.
I'm tired already.
Right, I like fell
tired.
asleep.
I know. Wait, who are you?
Janai being the oldest and then having the little ones, it became really, really challenging for us to find things as a family to do together where it's all inclusive, where she feels like she's getting just as much attention as her siblings and vice versa. Because a lot of times, you know, they would have to go with me for things for her, and then they're like, oh, Mom, what do we have to, like, how come I just have to sit here and watch, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, you know what I mean? So I rather than just constantly complaining, I would be out there looking, and I've gone to different playgrounds, like, you know, there's We Rock the Spectrum, and now there's more and more that cater towards kids with autism, but for kids like Janai who are in wheelchairs and need assistance with everything, there really isn't anything. But they love the same stuff that typical kids like. They love music, they love dance, they love art, theater, and I wanted to create a space where they could find all of that and be able to do it with their typical counterparts. So bringing typical kids in, teaching them how to interact and teaching them how to play with kids who have special needs, like buddy them, but also a place where they can have their own things. Like the other kids, the siblings, they have tons of friends. They have play dates all the time, but they don't necessarily have friends who understand their day-to-day and what they go through. Like Jada has been sleeping in the same room with her sister since she was born, and she literally would be the one waking up in the middle of the night if her sister had a seizure to come tell us, Mom, Dad, Janai's seizing, I need help, you know. I mean, now she's old enough where she's my size pretty much. She doesn't call me anymore. She knows what to do. She props her sister over on her side, wipes her face, makes sure she's not choking, and then the next morning she's like, yeah, Mom, so by the way, Janai had a seizure. I'm like, what? Why didn't you call me? She's like, she's, you know, done and over. It's cool. We went right back to sleep. And, you know, it's crazy, but I'm pretty sure that's not a conversation she could have with any of her friends.
Exactly.
You know, or I'm exhausted. I don't want to get up or go to school anymore because my sister keeps me up all night, you know, or whatever that conversation would look like. It's not something that she could typically say to any one of her friends. So Inclusion Clubhouse would give the siblings a place to meet other siblings in similar situations where they could relate and become friends. And then the parents, it's all about community. Support system and having people who can relate to your day-to-day and just be there and be like, hey, it's cool, cry. I get it. I get it.
Here's a shoulder.
Absolutely. You know, and I've had, and what little things that I have been able to do, I make sure that I keep in touch with all those parents who come to prom, who come to the events. I mean, this year for prom, we had one of the moms say, oh my God, this is so amazing. It was their first time at prom. And she's like, my typical daughter is just in love. And I was so afraid because she hates everything that we do she has an older sister with Down syndrome. And she's like, she really has a hard time and she's really shy because it's all for her and her sister steals the spotlight and she's very outgoing and everyone flocks to her and then she's kind of left to the side, and she's like, prom was nothing like that. She's like, she felt so special because my daughter kind of took her under her wing, and she's like, she'd never had that before. And the fact that my daughter is very empathetic, she's very much me, and so she saw like, hey, this is kind of like me, like that's how I feel all the time, so let me bring her in under my wing and show her all the cool stuff that we can do while our siblings are doing their own thing. We can do our thing, and we can make this our party.
So you mentioned the prom, but you're doing something in a couple of weeks.
Correct.
That's why Gloria and Lonnie are here. So you got to let us know, because I just put the information on the Facebook, the link. But
so in 2 weeks, we are having our second annual charity karaoke battle celebrity edition. So,
girl, you guys better know how to sing.
Oh,
yes.
man.
No,
I'm
excited though.
You know what? Karaoke is about fun. It's not actually. Last year,
depends who you ask.
Last year we were kind of, we had Shanice sing, so that was a little.
Professional singers.
So this year we decided to make
Like
her
karaoke,
judge.
That was a concept for her.
So are you trying to get regular people to come up and do that?
We are
I'd be like,
actually, you know what? We
announce?
do raffle tickets for people in the audience to help us raise money and have a chance to come on stage and perform.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
celebrities
fun.
as well.
That's fun.
And last year we had a boy in the audience who won and who actually had autism.
Oh, fantastic.
And he came up on stage and sang, and he was amazing. He blew everyone away.
Oh, awesome.
And this year we're actually going to have a guest performer who is coming through, Shanice. She's a friend of theirs. His name is George Steves, and he's actually an adult with autism, Asperger's on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
And he does a one-man show called Magic 8 Ball, My Life with Asperger's. And I hear it's pretty phenomenal. So, you know, that's another thing we like to do is encourage those who have special needs to get up on stage and show people what they're able. You know, what
So
their
is he gonna
abilities.
sing? Is he singing?
He is singing.
Oh, wow.
He is singing.
So you already have the celebrity that are going to sing.
We have a celebrity lineup. We do. I mean, I'm pulling in some more. Last year we had a lot of celebrities. So this year I tried to trickle it down so that it's actually a battle, not just a free
Good
for
luck
all.
with that. Whoever has to go after the
Let me bust
professional
out a
singer.
tune.
I just want to open up because I'm the worst.
So you're singing.
Are you singing?
All right, Derek and I are actually going to perform.
A duo?
We are, and I was like, look, because I'm really competitive. I'm like hyper competitive. So I'm like, you
gotta practice,
sir. You get your steps together.
You gotta see me back
see
already
like,
ready. You messed up.
Okay, so wait a minute. You said steps. Are you performing? Is
No, I mean, I have to like karaoke.
You gotta get a little bit.
You know,
and
he
it's
was on
90s
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, it's
already.
90s things.
Yes.
Okay, so you have celebrity performers and then you have celebrity judges. Oh, how fair is that?
Listen, it's all fun.
Yes, Lonnie owns the joint. I'm gonna be sliding him.
I know, like he's the owner. This is so
You know who's gonna
unfair.
win this.
Yeah, legit.
This is already rigged.
Listen, we are just trying to have fun and raise some money, okay? We ain't trying to win no gold medals
Oh my gosh.
up in here.
You know me. I'll be like, where is my gold ball?
Yeah, that's me. I'm like,
The trophy's actually pretty dope.
Oh my gosh, they get a trophy.
They get a trophy. The winner gets a trophy.
So is
at
there a
the end.
category like best song selection, performance, outfit? Do you have like a little
She's
list?
I need to know. No, we did. We actually, well, for the kids one that we did for Down syndrome awareness in October, there was lots of categories, and it was amazing because it was around Halloween, so the kids got to dress up.
gosh,
So there was like best costume, there was best.
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
had MC Hammer in the building, and when
Oh
I
my
say that
God.
boy had MC Hammer down,
Oh
like
my
he had
God.
the dance moves. It was like Hammer, don't hurt him.
Oh
like
my
for
gosh.
real, he was so good. It was so cute.
So is it open to the public?
It
Yes.
absolutely
It is. And then, so is it open, is it adult only? Because I know it's at your restaurant.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we're gonna have a little bit of everything. The idea is to have some kids, maybe, or probably all adults. We probably would just want all the adults mostly probably come out just to have fun and enjoy their time, and not worried about the little ones at the time. Just to experience the karaoke, and then of course
Right.
the restaurant itself. I mean, just the Brazilian food, steakhouse, and just the drinks.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about your restaurant. It is called the Rio Lounge and Grill. So how did you guys get hooked up
I know,
together
like,
and
did
connected?
you all know each other?
And
Yeah, well,
because I think it's
I've
going to be
known
a
this
great
girl for a long
venue.
time.
Oh, stop.
I just met him in the elevator,
Up the
y'all.
moon a little bit, became best friends.
No, I meant this.
And Linda and I have been talking for quite some time about this project that we've been building on for for about a year or two.
Nice.
And then I've always told her, once I project to get a restaurant or a bar out here, I definitely want to link up. I've always been in love with her awareness and how passionate and like, devoted she is with the situation.
And Janai is brilliant.
Oh,
like, she's an
gorgeous.
amazing young lady.
Beautiful soul. She makes you just want to like just love life. And like, I gotta get it because of you. So we've been talking for some time, and then I had the restaurant presented to me. So then I pulled her aside and said, I think it's time.
Yeah.
Let me get my wheels spinning. Let me get everything going up and running for myself. And then we came together and pulled out a platform, and this is what we're going to shoot out to the world and see what happens.
So your restaurant has been open for a while, or is it just
No,
opening?
I just did a soft opening. My grand opening is on the 8th of this month.
Oh, wow. And let everybody know where it's located.
Yes.
It's at 7140 DeSoto Ave by Sherman Way.
Okay, so right here in the Valley. So
Yeah.
all of our local people. So it's open to the public. All the local people here in Southern California. You can fly in too if you want to. But you know. But we're just saying it's local to San Fernando Valley. So come out. It'll be a great time.
Yeah, a great
and what kind of
night out.
are we having food? Are we?
So we have the churrascarillas come out with all the meats. We have, caipirinhas, the Brazilian drinks. We're gonna just have a lot of fun. Don't get too drunk. Uber there, please.
I know.
Yeah.
Now,
Get drunk. Donate lots of money.
because people spend money.
Yeah.
So how much are the tickets? Can they get them at the door? Do they need tickets prior?
Yes.
Currently, right now, tickets are on sale online. They are $40 general admission on sale. I believe next week they go up to $50. So the goal is to get as many pre-sales as possible, and that's just general admission for the event. Beautiful seating, beautiful place. And then we have VIP tickets, which are $100, and that gets you prime seating, early entrance, meet and greet with celebrities, and food.
Nice.
And all of that information is on what website? Is it on the inclusionclubhouse.org website? Okay. We're going to take a real quick break to do, that's kind of a segue into our
second ad. Do you want to do that
I'll
one?
let you go.
You like the way I do our
I
so
do.
our second ad for today's show has also been brought to you by Inclusion Clubhouse, a not-for-profit organization that provides social and recreational activities for those with different special needs and their siblings, while offering support to the family as a whole. They exist to create a space that is truly all-inclusive and accessible for children, teens, and young adults of all abilities. Inclusion Clubhouse will help create a more inclusive community. Visit us at www.inclusionclubhouse.org.
Yes.
www. I'm only saying 2 W's. At inclusionclubhouse.org.
Yes.
And there you can find out more information about everything Inclusion Clubhouse, not just this activity or this event, which Felicia and I are going to be there.
Yes. So when we go, we can get our tickets here, and will it give us a link, or can we just purchase tickets from inclusionclubhouse.org?
Yeah, when you go to Inclusion Clubhouse and click on the karaoke, it'll take you to the ticket page, so you can get your tickets, and it'll show you the different pricing.
And then all the proceeds, half of the proceeds, what are we donating back to Inclusion Clubhouse? This is to get this off of the ground.
All of the proceeds will go to Inclusion Clubhouse.
Fantastic.
And then, and so our key with the funds right now, it's always the end goal is to open up a recreational center for families with kids with special needs.
Yes.
But in the interim, we are running programs. We do Camp Include Me. Every summer I run a week-long free camp for kids with special needs and their siblings. So we've had as many as 24 in attendance so far, which is a lot because we don't have a space. So I have to be really creative. And for 2 years it was at my house, which became very, very challenging. And now we're kind of on the road. Last year we did a traveling camp, which was cool too. But the ultimate goal is to have our own space.
Yeah, we need
so
that brick and mortar. Right. So that's the main goal. We're trying to raise funds for this organization to get this building built. We need this facility. We need people to come in. We need a place for all the kids to come, families to come. Because I like what you said too about, like my kids are involved in basketball. Boys are I know your son is into basketball too. So, if you have, it's already logistically hard enough when you've got multiple kids.
Right.
This one's doing over here, this one's over here. But when you have children with special needs, it's extra. So it would be amazing to have it all in one spot where you can have,
basketball for your typical kids or dance and all of that
everybody is included again, the name, Inclusion Clubhouse. So that's why I feel like this is really important to us. We need to get this building built and put together. And I think it's amazing that you've partnered with her. Thank you so much for
that's amazing.
For
but if we
hosting
want to
this.
go to the restaurant prior,
Yes.
it opens March 8th.
March.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Everyone should go to the Grand
I know.
Yes.
And what
Yeah.
city is
Tried a
that?
lot
Is
of
that
Canoga Park.
Canoga Park? Yeah, I know. I used to
So
live
this
over
is just
there.
like
If you want
grand
some cheesy
opening.
breads and empanadas, I mean, it's
It's a
good
very
stuff.
important
Yes.
month. March is very
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Beautiful
Yes.
dances. You gotta enjoy the dances and the bongo.
Yeah.
Well, what are
Yes,
the
it's
hours?
awesome.
What are your
Right
dates?
now it's just 5 to 10. So we try to do dinner only.
Oh, so it's evening.
Yeah, so the idea for me is to build that up and then you reverse it. So when people are complaining saying you need another hour, you cut down you maximize your money.
Right, right.
And then reverse
And
it.
how many days a week are you open?
Right, 7 days a week.
7 days.
Oh,
Ooh, we
fantastic.
gotta
Can't give
go.
up.
Yes.
So there's no
Yes.
excuse.
Are you going to have
Yes.
music? Now, like, tell us a little bit about this
Of course.
restaurant.
So
Like,
Yes.
yeah, I want to
in the
know.
opening, they'll have dancers there. There'll be bongos there. The gauchos will be out there with their meat. We'll give you complimentary champagne. If not, a couple of caipirinhas.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Got a real
Putting
eye.
And then the empanadas and cheese bread. I just want to make sure that everybody's just flooded with servers. I mean, it has to be.
No dieting. No dieting this month.
Yeah.
I know the breadness is a weakness for a lot of people. And that one is like the worst because it's so good and so like it's like a marshmallow in your mouth.
Oh,
Yes.
But he's going to open up too. He's going to start having empanada Tuesdays.
Oh,
karaoke
nice.
Wednesdays. Yeah.
Do you have an Instagram people can follow?
Yeah. We have Rio Lounge and Grill on
At Rio
Instagram.
Lounge,
Yeah.
At
Is it
Rio
Lounge. and
Lounge.
Grill.
one word,
Yeah,
spaces?
one word all together.
Okay, so
Real
we'll
Lounge
put
and
that
Grill.
we'll put that information up
Rio
on
Lounge what?
And
And
grill.
And grill.
Yeah.
Rio Lounge and Grill on Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
we follow you on Instagram. Now, is this like a first time for you? Like,
Yeah,
what is this your
My sister
passion?
and I grew up in restaurants. So when we were younger, my dad had restaurants. And then of course, we had no choice but to work in them. Being a Latin and black community, we had to work at a young age. So I
Yeah,
got
no
it.
child labor laws
Yeah, I mean,
at that
$50
point.
$50
We were like
pay.
9, busboy in it.
Oh
You know,
my God.
I
They're
was
like,
a
listen, this
bartender.
is
I was
a
like
family
12.
Yeah,
business.
pretty much.
Yes.
That's
And we didn't get
awesome.
paid.
At all.
My
Is
dad
this
would always be
your
like,
first restaurant?
Yeah.
This is our second. This is so I've had bars before.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've never had fine dining.
Okay.
So this is my first fine dining restaurant.
Oh,
But in this
wow.
experience, I've had experience in this.
Got
People always
it.
get nervous, like, you sure you want to do it? I'm like,
Yeah,
I've
that's,
been in
Yeah.
this world
that's a lot
before.
of
I've
work.
heard a lot. Like,
Mhm.
opening up a restaurant is like having a child.
Yeah, it's
like,
no joke.
No joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a crisis all the time.
Oh,
Yes.
24/7.
Yeah.
That's why you
Legit,
do a month
it's,
of a soft opening. She's
poor
seen my
baby.
struggle.
Yeah, he did the soft opening. He had an event for Valentine's Day, and it was. I was like, "Are you okay?" Like the dishwasher broke,
Yeah,
the
that's
POS
crisis,
system went out,
yeah.
and I was
Have to
like,
test it. I
"Yeah."
don't
I mean,
test
I
it.
started working. I was like, I'm in my heels. I was like, "Hey, kid, what'd you want?"
I had 300 people
I was like,
on
let me
the
check.
first day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
And
fun.
Up and down. I mean, of course, we got through it,
Yeah.
made it through
Yeah.
the day, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
you
was
do what you gotta do.
interesting day.
Oh,
I
that's
tell you.
fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna
If
be
I
a
don't
good
grease
time.
it up and try it,
Yeah.
I never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
biggest thing is always, of course, until the grand opening and even after, communication is key. So I go
Yeah.
literally around asking, what can we make better?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Because
good.
then when you come in next time, you see the upgrade and
Improve,
saying, well, he
improve.
listens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's how you change the upgrade and you always keep the restaurant on the flow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And why your choice of cuisine?
The Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah.
The Brazilian steakhouse, I mean, for I think the area when we did a lot of the due diligence, like the area was kind of lacking in that cuisine in particular.
Yeah.
And one of our consultants actually has owned a Rio, like a Brazilian
Multiple
steakhouse and Rio Lounge and Grill, Bar and Grill in Encino in
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
And so he kind of brought it to our attention. And then of course when we did like the margins on like profit and those kind of things, like it was astronomical. So
Fantastic.
yeah, we ended up choosing because like I said, we were brought up in the bar
It
and
made more
restaurant
sense.
industry, so we kind of always like had to look at the numbers and that kind of stuff. But the demographic works, like
Yeah.
and there's
I
not
don't
a
think there's
steakhouse.
another. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no
for a
competition
while.
for us
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like a 7-mile radius or something. That there's not one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And in LA, that's like an hour. You know what I mean? So everyone's
Tell
like,
it.
ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
So-
my
and such a
gosh.
great area too. Like I think a lot of people don't realize what a gem the San Fernando Valley is. Like
Yeah,
we
it
have
is.
so many things. I mean,
true.
people come to LA, they think LA downtown,
Hollywood, yeah,
Hollywood, Sunset, blah blah blah. But we got a lot of stuff going on
We
in
do.
the valley.
Don't
Fernando.
sleep on the valley.
Yes,
Yes,
come
I
to
know.
the valley and get
Yeah, I
some
moved
culture.
out of the valley.
You are in a whole other valley.
know.
So am I.
Yosemite
We're
Valley?
like,
No, Ventura.
Oh, Ventura.
Ventura.
Okay.
she's in Moore
That's
Park,
it,
and
yeah.
I'm out in like.
You're what?
Prom might be in Ventura County.
Really?
Oh.
Woo! You got to come back
Yes.
for that one.
Yes, yes. So okay, so we're got your restaurant. how you came about, and now let's get back to a little bit more about the event. So you decided to come and help and like
Can
hold
you
your
sing?
presence.
No. no, and I'm not even going to try to play you. But it's crazy because like in my head, I feel like I can dance like Chris Brown, but in reality, I look like Elaine on Seinfeld.
That's
Oh
okay.
my
So,
gosh,
like,
this is gonna be so
Listen,
much fun.
be
it's
great.
all the reality that's right here.
Legit,
That matters.
But I like will have and it's crazy because both my parents are like, you're black and Mexican, you ain't got no reason. I'm like, I know, it's the worst. But yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm hyper competitive. I love to have fun. Like Janai is brilliant, Linda's amazing. You know, the restaurant is so much fun in general. Like the decor is great, the atmosphere is amazing too. So I'm just a support. Like I'm like, you know, I'm following behind these amazing people. You know, like his ability to open a restaurant, her ability to have 4 children, look this great.
Exactly.
Girl,
And like I said,
she's
Janai
my
is amazing.
inspiration.
Yeah, legit.
You are on my
know?
Instagram stories. I'd be like, what is Linda
I
doing?
know.
Right,
I stopped
I know.
looking. I was like, I'm not even gonna open that Insta story because I'm gonna get so mad at her right now.
Stop it.
I just want to keep being her friend. I'm not.
I love it. Yeah, she's great. You know, so I'm here to support. I'm here to support whatever it is that we can do to help bring awareness. You know, to obviously both the Inclusion Clubhouse and then of course the restaurant. So when they came together, I was like, well, that's genius.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was like, boom. So I don't even think she asked me. I was like, so when am I in this? Am I singing? Like, what are we doing here? She was like, yeah, girl, if you want to. I was like, girl, I told you. I'm gonna get my steps together.
So
Legit,
if you're coming as a guest, you don't have to dress up in 90s, right? You don't have to. Are you encouraging
I
that?
encourage
Yes,
everyone
you
to
wanna
dress
have
up
fun.
because it's always so much fun. Like when
Yes.
everyone's like,
Because
then you're even more excited to
Right.
come. You're like, oh yeah, especially if you're a
Yes.
90s baby. You're like, oh yeah,
I'm a 90s baby.
I am not a 90s
Come on,
baby.
put your-
I'm
listen.
far from a 90s
No,
baby.
you're not
I was
that
having
far.
babies in the 90s.
No, you weren't. You were not that far. Listen, put your crisscross clothes on. Put your
I also
legit.
had a baby in the 90s who was gonna be 20 now. Don't
Oh
remind
man,
me.
she's
my
brilliant.
God.
Janai, let me tell you a quick story about Janai. We were watching Super Bowl, and she was holding, she was so excited. She was holding my hand, and I was like, oh, she had a Patriots jersey on. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm not rooting for the Patriots. She was like, I was like,
Guys, she loves
was
her Patriots.
legit.
She does.
Yo,
I saw that too. I
she
was like,
did.
wait. And
we
looked at
all
each other, I
started
was like,
dying
did you just-
laughing. I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah,
did
she
you
just
did me
threw
like
you
that?
major shade.
Yeah, it was
She was like-
hilarious.
She was like,
Right.
okay.
She was like, all right, well,
thought
that's
you were
unfortunate
cool.
for you, girl. I was like,
So
dang.
sorry.
We're
Oh
cool.
my God.
It was so funny. So that's like I
awesome.
said, she's brilliant.
So it's destined to be a fun night.
Absolutely. So now when we get there, we eat food. How's the night gonna go? Amp us up. Get us
So,
excited about it.
Initially, we'll open up a little earlier. The celebrities will get on the red carpet. VIPs also get to do their little red carpet walkthrough, interviews, and whatnot with the celebs. And then general admission, doors open. Everyone comes in. We get, they get seated. Lonnie's gonna have menus for everyone that they can pick and get to
Good.
try the food.
So we can have dinner while we're there.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone will have an opportunity to get food, try different appetizers, different meals, like different drinks. 'Cause I know he's gonna have some specialty drinks.
And we did say kids are okay, right?
Kids are
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I bring my kids.
Yeah.
Well, I have a
We're-
grown kid. He might want to come.
Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it adult. Last
Yeah.
year's was adults only, and
Yeah.
then we
Okay.
had one specifically for the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we know, like, there are always exceptions to the rules. So, I've said if you need to bring your kid, just let me know.
Gotcha.
Clearly, I'm like, I hope
You don't
I have
want
a
that
sitter because I don't want to bring my two
Yeah,
year
yeah,
old.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But you know
Are
what I
you
mean?
singing?
Yes. Paige and I will be singing.
Can you sing?
No.
Oh my
I love the
gosh.
honesty.
I
It's
am
like,
just
no,
really gonna have a
no,
nervous breakdown.
But
Are
you
you
know
guys
what?
gonna sing?
Last year we
No.
did. And
Oh, well, listen, don't ask me too many times because I will get up there and
She
sing.
will get up and
Yes,
sing.
and
Y'all
then-
do
Between
not
you
want me to
should.
sing.
Yeah.
I'll get up and
She
dance.
has
but I-
sang. You've sang on karaoke.
Yeah, but
I
my
think-
husband would be like,
fun.
shut your mouth.
Yeah.
No.
It is so
no.
much fun.
It is
Like
so
I
much
I
fun.
sound
love
like
it. Oh, I
Last
love
year,
karaoke.
and
karaoke.
Pooch was the
Oh,
one
I love
messing
it.
up, and he picked the song. He chose "Summer Lovin'"
Oh,
look
my
like
God.
Grease,
Okay.
because he was like, you know what? If we can't sing, no one's gonna know. It's a musical. So he thought he was slick.
Smart.
But then he got caught in the middle, and I'm like, babe, the words are right there. And I'm like, come on, help me out here.
Right.
So is it going to be a duo again this year? Oh, that's
All right.
fantastic.
So
Oh, and now
Shanice
we
is
gotta pick a
hosting.
90s song.
Is she hosting or
She's
she judging?
judging.
She's judging.
She's
Okay.
Oh, I
judging.
definitely
and
am
who's
not
hosting the
singing.
night?
We are.
Oh, nice. Nice. That is, and who else? Do you have the other judges set?
We do. We have Flex, Shanice's husband.
Oh,
Flex,
fun.
and then
He's fun, yeah.
Edie Dawn, who I believe is a music producer and radio
That is
personality.
crazy.
What kind of people y'all got singing? Because I would not be trying to sing in front of
I
all
know,
these
right?
people.
It'd be
No
like,
pressure. Good luck to you, Gloria.
Yeah,
Have fun
I'm
with that.
telling you, really, it's gonna be Derek. I'm just being in the background.
What did you just say?
I'm a hype man. I'm a great hype person.
But it's
gonna be
fun. The words are there, and
Yeah.
we
Yes.
ask the audience to sing along.
Oh, yes.
Especially
Okay, I'll
if
be
you
doing
drop
that.
the
Yes,
mic
yeah.
I
and
have to tell
forget, we
this
ask them
quick
to sing
story.
along.
We did karaoke in my house last year or so.
Yeah.
But we did karaoke. We went to a birthday party, and from the birthday party, we decided let's go to those Asian Korean karaoke
Karaoke,
places
yeah.
Oh,
downtown where
yes.
it's very, very serious.
Right.
Yes.
And so I am very serious about my karaoke. And this dude came up, and he knows who he is,
Oh,
and started singing with me, and I got so mad.
He like snatches mic.
I was like, I can't sing with you. I just walked away. I
sat
literally
down.
said that. I said, I
She
can't
sat
sing
down.
with you.
Check, please.
And I was so mad because he
said
was a little buzzed, and he was in it for the
He
fun.
was a little pitchy.
And pitchy. You were flat, bro. You were flat. Anyway, so
You are the worst.
but it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We'll
Yes.
be there, and we're excited to
Yes.
see you guys and taste
Yes,
the food.
I'm excited to come. Listen, I love
know.
to eat this.
Me
It
too.
hits
Oh.
all my notes.
right.
Eating, singing, dancing,
Drinking.
Right. Good
Drinking.
company.
I know,
Please,
dressing
yes.
up.
What? Well, I'm not dressing up. But
Yes, you have to dress
I'll
up.
dress up in 90s stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
coming in my
That's the
backwards clothes.
Adidas.
My
Yeah,
Adidas.
Adidas sweat.
I'm
Yeah.
not late.
And
I'm
that's what I
I'm
was
backwards
trying to. I
clothes.
was trying to
You're being-
project.
I'm a little cuter
my,
than that.
You know, the ponytail to
No,
the
no, I'm not-
side, the flannel shirt over
No, that is
everything.
way
I'm trying to
too
project a
much.
little.
Yes, you're gonna do it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to.
No, we'll
can.
figure it out.
There's
We'll
so many
figure it out.
styles to choose from in the
I know.
90s.
I will
I
not
know.
be
And
wearing
all
my
the
brilliant.
songs are gonna be 90s inspired
Yes,
songs,
all
correct?
90s theme.
So we all know.
I know that's your thing. That is, she's gonna be crying.
Yeah.
She's gonna be.
All right,
Give her
who's
2
doing-
drinks, bro. 2 drinks. She's
You're like,
toast.
take the way. That's the 10 songs she
Yeah,
sung
that
all night.
fundraiser that we had with Johnny Gill when Johnny Gill got up and sang,
Lord,
I was
she-
done.
She
I
was
like,
done.
Take
I
my
was
money.
like,
Right. What you need?
She's like, I'm gonna make it rain
listen,
right now.
yeah, exactly. She was
Yeah.
my guest, and I was like, oh my god, why did I bring
Sorry,
her?
everybody.
But we
wanna-
run out of time.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes, we want to just let you know that VIP tickets are only $100.
Yeah,
so I would
that's
encourage. I
excellent.
don't know how many VIP tickets you have or how many you have left, but let's make it a goal to sell all those
Please
out.
save me too.
Awesome.
Yes,
I need to.
yeah, I need to too.
Yeah.
But yeah, go out and buy them. Inclusionclubhouse.org. Get
Yes.
your tickets. We'll see you
Yeah,
March.
we'll be there March 18th,
March
Sunday
18th.
from 5 to 8 p.m.
Yes, it's
at
good. It's
Rio
after
Lounge
church.
and
Go to
Grill.
church in the morning and then
Legit,
come.
right.
That's
Try to
right,
make sure,
right. That's
and
exactly
it's not
what I'm
too
gonna do.
late, so you can still get up in the morning.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Well, guys, thank you so much for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much.
Lonnie, Govan,
It's been
Gloria,
great.
Govan,
Yes.
and Linda. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
all be there singing. We thank you guys for watching. We
We're not.
hope you've been informed, educated, and entertained. Catch us next Monday live here on LA Talk Radio.
Have a great week. Bye.
I'm up here with one.
You're listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.